Hello, Dr. Brant Hulsebus here, and welcome to another edition of Ask the Chiropractor. Ask the Chiropractor is my little podcast that I do when someone has a question about chiropractic or chiropractic care. I try to answer. I'm a chiropractor here in Rockford, Illinois. I'm a proud graduate of Palmer College of Chiropractic, and I'm happy to be the team chiropractor of the Rockford Ice Hogs. Let's dive into it. Hi there, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Ask the Chiropractor. Today I want to talk about why you should get a second opinion before choosing a new medication or surgery when it comes to a health condition, especially something to do with concerning from your spine. So let's talk a little bit about it. Let's say you've had neck pain or lower back pain or maybe radicular pain, meaning this pain's coming from your spine out to your arm, down your leg, what we call sciatica. Maybe you've had some really bad headaches. Maybe you've been told you have a disc bulge or a disc herniation. Maybe you've had different health conditions that you've considered, you've gone to your doctor about, and maybe you've asked a couple of people, what about going to see a chiropractor? Why would I see a chiropractor? And maybe the people you asked were not chiropractors, and maybe they gave you an answer, what I would call an uneducated answer. Not just uneducated, just naive, because they're not chiropractors. So I highly recommend getting a second opinion from a chiropractor if you are going through a healthcare problem. The beautiful thing about going to a chiropractor first before you have the surgery is you can still have the surgery. The beautiful thing about going to see a chiropractor before starting a strong medication is let's say the chiropractic, you don't get the results you want, you can still do the medication after. And so there's nothing wrong with doing chiropractic first. We've always had the saying, chiropractic first, drug second, surgery third, because that's the way you can go backwards on. So if you've been somewhere and you've had something done, you want to make sure that the chiropractor can or cannot help you. Now in my office, we've been around since 1949. My grandfather started this practice, and then my father, then me. And we've had the benefit of knowledge being passed down now for 3 generations. And not only that, but there's not just one chiropractor here, there's 3 of us here. So you have myself, I've been a chiropractor now since 2002. Dr. Hayes has over 10, 12 years of experience. And Dr. Sam, she's still fresh from school. So you had the benefit of 3 different unique opinions from different people in their scale of their career. And we look at everything together. So even though you might see one or the other one of us, we work as a team looking at everything together. Matter of fact, the other day, one of the doctors caught something on an x-ray the other doctor had missed. And we're so psyched that we have all of us working together to figure that out. Now, with some of our strengths, some of our different things, I've been the president of the state association. I've been the national rep of the Chiropractic Association here in Illinois. I also serve at Chiro Congress, so I'm very involved in the latest chiropractic laws and legislation and regulations. I also am a nerd when it comes to doing some research papers. A lot of people come talk to me because they know I do tons of research on the internet and read tons of articles. And then I'm also so nerdy, I listen to podcasts all the time about the newest research. Dr. Hayes, he loves looking at the x-rays. He's the one that likes to get in there and look at those x-rays and see what he sees and come up with different angles and different approaches to doing a chiropractic adjustment. He's also a really talented adjuster. He's really good at getting his hands in there, finding what needs to get done and getting it analyzed and figured out. And then Dr. Sam, she brings with us the newest from Palmer College because she just graduated. She had studied with us the whole time she was at chiropractic school, and we're so happy to have her part of our team. But she brings a different perspective because she's fresh from school. So obviously some of the things I learned for national boards that I haven't looked at since 2025 years almost, Dr. Sam just finished looking at that. So she brings another unique perspective. So it's really cool to have the 3 of us all working together to take a look at your case. So if you've been to the doctor and they're suggesting that maybe you have a disc bulge, a disc herniation, or maybe you need to have surgery, or maybe you need to start a whole bunch of shots and treatments like that, come see us and let us take a look at your case and see what we can do to give you help. We don't really charge for consultations. Now, if we have to take a bunch of x-rays and do a bunch of exams, that's a different conversation. But to first sit down and just talk to us and meet with us, we're happy to sit down and meet with you and talk to you. We just want to be able to see what we can do to help. That's all we want to do. And then if we can't help you, we're going to tell you we can't help you. The other unique thing that we have in our clinic is that we've been the team chiropractors for the hockey team since 2004. Now, why does that make us unique? Well, not so much the fact that you might be a hockey player, but what makes it unique is that we've worked side by side with Rockford's best medical doctors, surgeons, ER physicians, family doctors, and orthopedic surgeons the whole time we've been there. So we have really unique communication with these fields that most chiropractors don't share. We're one of the few clinics that actually be our systems interlinked so we can share information and data more rapidly between our clinics. One, because of the ice hogs, and two, because we co-care a lot of patients together. So coming to see us isn't saying that they're not going to see somebody else. The odds are whatever doctor you've seen might know Dr. Hayes, myself, or Dr. Sam personally from covering at ice hog games. So that's one thing that makes us unique. Another thing that makes us unique is the fact, like I said, we can share records more quickly and faster. And if you were to tell your primary doctor that you're going to come see one of the three of us and they know us, they feel more comfortable with that too because they actually know us. They know who we are, they know our integrity, and they know what we're about and what we're not about. So you can always come see us. And if we look at your case and you're too far gone, we're not going to waste your time and energy. We're going to tell you, yeah, unfortunately, you should have met you 10 years ago. This looks like this is your only choice now. So we have those relationships and we have that ability. And again, there's nothing wrong with just going to see the chiropractor and asking just for a second case, a second set of eyes on it. So come in, schedule a consultation, tell us what's been going on, fill out a history so we have your information, and we'd be happy to sit down with you and ask you whether or not chiropractic can help your case. Again, like I say this all the time, only a chiropractor can really tell you whether or not a chiropractor can help your case. We have cases that come in all the time that somebody had told them 4 or 5 years ago that they shouldn't see a chiropractor for this, and we're able to see them 2 or 3 times, and after 5 years of discomfort, they're able to start feeling their body healing for the first time in a long time, and it just stinks that they had to wait so long to finally meet us. So really seek out a second opinion by a chiropractor. And I guess my point is, no one's going to tell you to do this other than people who've gone to a chiropractor, because we're not part of the healthcare systems, we're independent, and they don't really think of us, or they don't really know what we do, to be frank with you. Again, my experience of working with the hockey team is the majority of the doctors, they don't really know what we do. They just know what they've been told by a third party. Now that they've seen us in action, they see us actually what we're doing, how we analyze the spine and how we show them the pre and post of the players. Now they're getting a better grasp of what we're doing. And I'll be honest with you, quite a few of them actually have come into the office and started care because they've been able to see what we do and understand it better, which is fantastic. And that goes both ways now. I'm a patient of theirs too. So I'm not saying they came to see us. I went to see them for different things too. So we had this really unique relationship and bond in our community. So if you live in the Rockford area and you want an opinion, feel free to make an appointment. Now, if you want to get an appointment from somebody closer to you, if you're watching or listening to this video somewhere else, feel free to shoot me a message. Part of being the Illinois rep of the National Association, I probably know people where you are, and I can arrange with you to have a meeting with somebody closer to you, or at least start those channels. I probably know someone in your state, and that someone in your state that can help you find somebody closer to you. Again, there's absolutely no harm or foul going to see a chiropractor for a second opinion. Now, in my grandfather's day, if the medical doctor saw your car at the chiropractic clinic, they would refuse to talk to you or treat you ever again. But that's not true anymore. Times have changed, so that old stigmatism is gone. And if you're working with a doctor that feels that way, I would suggest it's time to find a new doctor. And if you're working with a chiropractor that feels that way, I would tell you to find a new chiropractor. You have to be able to do both. Both things have different modes and times. But again, I would highly suggest getting a second opinion from a chiropractor before you do something that can't be undone. I've had a lot of patients come to see me after they've had their lower cervical neck fused or their lower back fused, and they wish they would have met me first because they question whether or not they need the surgery, and I can't answer them because I didn't see them at the time of the surgery. I saw them a couple of years later, so I'm not the right person to ask. But if they would have had a consultation with me first, then we know we exhausted everything. So if you're going through a healthcare situation, especially something spinal related, go see your chiropractor. Even if it's not spinal related, you might be surprised what the chiropractor might be able to suggest a couple of things. And there's no harm in having a conversation, especially before you proceed into surgery or something more drastic. So get a second opinion from a chiropractor. And I'm going to end this the same way I end all my podcasts. If you have a question about chiropractic or chiropractic care, there's only one person qualified to answer that question, and that would be a chiropractor. Make sure you seek one out. Thank you.